Hello and welcome to the Keep Right On podcast. I'm Brian Dick and I'm joined here today not by Alex Dickin, our regular Birmingham City correspondent, but by German Bundesliga commentator and Klick and Rush podcast presenter Uli Hebel. Uli, how are you today?
I'm very good. Hope you too. And as you say, and I like it very much, thanks for having me.
No, it's great to have you. Uli is on the podcast today to discuss Birmingham City's latest signing, a man that we probably all know the name, but probably don't know too much about his career. That is former Werder Bremen striker Marvin Ducksch. You're going to kill me for the pronunciation there, are you?
Oh, it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Okay, excellent. GCSE German coming in very useful there then. So yeah, we brought Uli on to give us some insight into Marvin's career in Germany and what he might achieve with Birmingham City. He's obviously been brought in to add competition and options for Chris Davis up front alongside Jay Stansfield and Kyogo Furuhashi and Lyndon Dykes. So let's get straight into it, Uli. Were you surprised to see Marvin leave Bremen and move to the second division in England?
Well, moving him to the second division has been kind of a surprise because he was linked to the Serie A in the years before. It was about his agent. He changed, and then we kind of had a feeling he probably might go to Italy. So kind of surprised that it's going to be the championship right now, but not surprised that he left because Werder Bremen is taking a new direction, new manager. They want to be with a more young squad than they were before. They want to having a cash in on Ducksch, so not surprised that he left, but his targets are kind of surprising.
Yeah, indeed. I think Birmingham City would say they are a Premier League club in waiting, so I'm guessing that Marvin would potentially have bought into the project, maybe view himself as playing in the Premier League, if not next season, then the next couple of seasons. What kind of legacy does Marvin leave behind at Bremen? I think I'm right in saying he spent 4 seasons there.
Yeah, exactly.
Scored, let me see, a lot of goals, 54 goals and 40 assists, which is a good number in 134 games there. Yeah. What sort of legacy? How do people feel about him in Bremen?
Very mixed. So overall, I would say he's probably the most important player in the whole spell of the 4 years. So getting promoted as well as staying in the Bundesliga. And they are right before of doing the next step. So they kind of flirted with the European competition in the last year. Never really been in the mix, but at least they flirted with it. And in those 4 years, he might be the most important player. Obviously not in every single season, because there has been guys like Füllkrug and stuff who left, but overall he might be the most important guy. But still mixed feelings about him, because he used to be a very streaky striker. So he had his spells where he was killing it all the time. And he has his spells where you couldn't see him for 3 months and stuff like it. And always discussions about his body language, about his behavior to players from Werder Bremen, right? So they did not like him too much, being kind of arrogant at times, kind of negative at times when he, for example, did not get the ball. So that's why there are mixed feelings, but all in all, every Werder Bremen fan knows they wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him.
Yeah, that's not going to wash in Birmingham at all, because Chris Davis is very strong on the team bond and bringing in, good people as well as good players. Now, that's not to say that Marvin's a bad person, but certainly, the bond between the teammates and the team spirit is very, very important over here. So that, maybe that is something that is going to need to be addressed, or maybe it's been spoken about, or maybe it's not too much of a concern over in Birmingham. I'm assuming that, he plays as an out-and-out centre forward. There's some. You look at the assists and you wonder, that's quite a lot of assists for a striker.
Yeah.
Talk to me about how he plays the role of centre forward, please, Uli.
Well, you might have heard about the Raumdeuter, the Thomas Müller expression we gave to him. This is kind of what Ducksch's main strength is. Has a very good IQ for a footballer, so he knows has a nose for his space, knows how to position himself. Does not all the time what you want him to do, but this is kind of a random thing in the game, which is very good in a way. So he kind of is the drop and combine striker everyone is looking for right now. So if you, for example, go to Liverpool with Onyekachi, if you go for Havertz at Arsenal and stuff, so the big strikers with very good technical level, but still the whole finishing component and, of course, the heading component in it. So this is how he kind of plays. He is not all the time in the box, so he's kind of swimming around, getting the balls, but still tries to get in a finishing position. So a very clever striker. This is probably the main thing to say about him.
So Birmingham playing a 4-2-3-1, and the number 10 can be Stansfield or it can be Lyndon Dykes. They kind of play it like a second striker with the furthermost forward striker, if it's Stansfield or Kyogo, sort of interchanging, and sometimes it looks like a two up front and sometimes one's further forward and the other drops back. Sounds like Ducksch will fit into that rotation quite naturally.
I don't, to be very honest, my brother did the first match on German television. He knows more about Birmingham than I do, but in 25, 26, I might give you a call as well, because I would like to do a Birmingham match. So, but right now I'm not, I cannot talk about Birmingham, but it sounds like it. But obviously I would say the kind of expression I gave you from Marvin Ducksch, I would say he probably fits in pretty much everywhere he plays, because he's kind of a very intelligent striker or player. He could also be a number 10. So I kind of have a feeling he might do well wherever you want him to play.
So another aspect of the way Birmingham play, certainly at the start of matches and maybe for the first hour, they press without the ball. They're very energetic on the press. They expect that one striker or the second striker as well to really, really close down. Is that something we're going to see from Ducksch?
Well, he learned. Ole Werner kind of wanted this from his players at Werder Bremen, but this has kind of a thing Ducksch needed to improve, because he wasn't too good at duels, offensively as well as defensively, and sometimes lazy is a big word, but sometimes he seemed at least to be a little bit lazy on the press. He can do it, he understands it, but he does not want it all the time. But he was the main man in Werder Bremen's offense. Sometimes he was the only man. So we kind of apologized him for not doing the whole hard work and just like standing around. But he can do it. He understands and he can do it.
Sure. Does he use his size? I mean, I see he's 6'2". I'm not sure what that converts to in metric or in meters and centimeters, I'm afraid, Uli. But he seems quite a big, physically big guy. Does he use that? Does he win his headers? Does he put his body on defenders?
Well, yes, he does. He does use his body, but not the way he could use his body, because he's more of a technical striker. That's why the comparisons with Havertz and Onyekachi are made, right? So the bigger guys, the kind of wingerish bodies they have, but playing in the center of the offense. He's okay in the air, but not very clinical. So he's a more technical striker, but still has a good frame, and he uses it pretty well if it works out for him. Yeah, he's okay with it.
Yeah, I see his injury record is pretty good. You've said he's been the main man. Sounds like he's been carrying the responsibility on his own quite a lot for Bremen. So his injury record is good, right?
Very good. Yeah, played all the time. Not always showed up, as I told you. So there have been months where you couldn't find him, and it kind of seemed that if he is not in good form, then it might get worse and worse from game to game, because he seems to is his own strongest critic. So that's probably why it got worse. But this is something I just saw from the outside. Seemed to be, don't know about it.
What leaps off his CV from his career is the fact that he's been called up by Germany, played for Germany. What did Julian Nagelsmann see in him? Can you think back to the time in November 2023 when Nagelsmann turned to Ducksch?
Yeah.
What was going on then?
Well, first of all, he saw a duo with Niklas Füllkrug. So they both of them, they used to be, they called the hässlichen Vögel, so the ugly birds. That's what Füllkrug called them on a press conference once. Everyone in German media related to it, obviously. I think Ducksch didn't like it, but they do both of them, they had very good chemistry with each other. Both of them are characters, so to speak. So Füllkrug is a very demanding guy, shouting on his teammates all the time. Ducksch is more with himself, but still very demanding to himself. But both of them had very good chemistry. And back then, Ducksch kind of was the main man in the Werder Bremen offense. And again, Nagelsmann liked the type of striker Ducksch was. He is clearly with Havertz as the main striker in the German national team. And both of them are kind of the same guys. So that's why Nagelsmann went with him.
Got you. Right, interesting. But he's not really come that close to another call-up since, has he?
No. Because Havertz has his place. He used him as a wing-back for a short period of time. Didn't go too well. So Havertz is the center forward. Füllkrug got fit again. Those are the two guys. Undav came in the picture. So those are the three guys. So no need for Marvin Ducksch again. And then he had like a really bad spell. So when he was called up for Germany, he did very well. Afterwards, he had like a drought for, I think, 4 or 5 months. Very big discussions at Bremen back then, why Ole Werner is still playing him. He was on our podcast. We asked him about it, and he said he's clearly the leader in the team, so I need him to play. I want him to get back in form, but still he was aware of that pretty much nothing happened for him in those spells. Yeah,
interesting. This all brings us to, I suppose, the $6 million question, Uli. How do you expect Marvin to do in England? How do you think he'll fare in the Championship?
Well, again, I'm not able to talk about the Championship too much. I did cover the matches for years and years, but I'm out for 2 years now, going in again, and I like it. But overall, I have a sense of Ducksch's. He might be not the leading goal scorer, right? He might be not the leading assistant, but still, I expect him to have very good numbers. So double figures overall in both is okay for me. So I would go for like 12 and 10 or something like it. So I expect him to do very well and be in a very good striker, because he's he's a relatively late bloomer, if you want so. But he has a very good level, and if he feels right and if he feels trusted, I expect him to do very well.
That's very exciting news. I mean, there may be some competition to get into the side, but we have to be honest and say, as much as Kyogo Furuhashi is an exciting signing, and as Jay Stansfield is kind of the poster boy for the new ownership in the new team, you're not really going to keep a German international out of the side for very long or too often, I don't think. Uli, I can't let you go as somebody who's watched Werder Bremen play without asking you about Oliver Burke.
Yes.
He spent a season on loan at Birmingham City, and it was last season, season before last. Birmingham City ended up getting relegated. Ollie Burke had a terrible season, climaxing in a selection in a really important game where the sixth manager of the season decided to pick him out of the blue, having not played. Burke had barely played for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then Gary Rowett chose him for what was effectively a relegation decider against Rotherham. Burke was taken off at half time. He was that bad. And I have to say, the memories of the Ollie Burke experiment are not good. But last season, what's happened last season with Oliver Burke? So suddenly he's a man in demand with the Bundesliga at his feet, isn't he?
Yeah, I did a match the other day. He went to Union Berlin on a free transfer, and he is expected to be the second striker besides their first striker Illich. But his whole preparation, so the preseason is just bad. So he didn't show up too much, and still there's a big thing with him going on with his consistency. So he has spells where he looks like to be Gareth Bale 2.0, but most of the time you don't see him, right? Last year he again had a very good spell at Werder Bremen. He had one spell, I think it was in the season 22-23, probably 23-24. He has like 4 games where he couldn't miss anything, so everything was like going perfect for him, and back then we never saw it again. So I kind of was surprised that Union went that hard for him, because still he's right now not doing very well. So again, very mixed feelings about him.
Right. Okay. Well, at least you've seen some good. We didn't get to see too much good in Birmingham. Now, the recruitment staff at Birmingham they've clearly got some sort of relationship with Werder Bremen. There's Oliver Burke has come, Lee Buchanan, now Marvin Ducksch. And there's also, they found value with Christoph Klara, and now Phil Neumann has come from, I think, Bundesliga 2 with Hanover.
Yeah.
Birmingham are into picking players from Germany, Bundesliga or Bundesliga 2 at the moment. Are there any others you can point in our way, point us out, or anything like that? To, some of the rising names that are attracting maybe not just interest from Birmingham, but from other clubs. They've got a bit of buzz around them, maybe.
Well, yeah, probably there are a few guys in the German Bundesliga that are doing very well. I always had a feeling that Janda is probably the most interesting guy, but he's probably going to Bayer Leverkusen this summer. So then now you know how they are doing, because obviously Leverkusen is a Champions League club. There are a few guys. I'm not so much into the second Bundesliga, to be very honest with you. I'm more into the first Bundesliga because I do not cover the second Bundesliga games in Germany. But there's good value for less money in Germany compared to the whole English market, right? So that's probably why everyone went for the German talent, even the German managers right now. So
yeah, that's right.
You can find that the German second Bundesliga is very balanced, so you can find talent everywhere you look.
Sure.
Probably you go for Karlsruhe has some very exciting names in them. Nuremberg is very exciting site to watch. They do like very good scouting and stuff. So those are teams you could give a watch if you want. Go for it. Probably the next talent you might recruit.
Excellent. Uli, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your insight into Marvin Ducksch and his prospects over here in England. Just give us a plug again. Tell us a little bit about Klick and Rush, your podcast.
Yeah, we are the leading podcast in German language on the Premier League, Klick and Rush. We are on Sky Sports in Germany. So if you are able to speak German fluidly, it's very important, because we kind of we kind of do it fast, right? Then you're very welcome to give a watch, or you can hear again. And yes, we're doing a big season preview right now. So afterwards, I'm calling my brother, and then we do a big season preview on the Premier League, because it starts obviously on the weekend, right? So we are very excited. There's a growing community on English football in Germany. Again, as I told you, we do have the championship in our program as well. So loads of English football again.
Excellent. Uli, thank you very much for your time. It's
thank you too.
An Auf Wiedersehen from me, and a keep right on from the whole Birmingham City community.